the we have in this industry, I've noticed over the past 30 years, is we have this lack of cross fertilization and cross pollination um, in the industry with other industries. So if you look at things, it's the majority of the people that are creating the language technologies and the solutions, language translation technology and solutions, have been in this language service and solution industry from the start of their career. Okay, very few of them have worked elsewhere first. Few, I mean there are, but there are very few. So they've grown up in this language industry, which has its own issues. Okay, and we're going to come to those. So there's this lack of cross fertilization and pollination, I call them. There are other kind of analogies, but those are kind of the easiest one to understand. And if you can go to LinkedIn profiles, people's LinkedIn profiles, you'll see that their see their resume, you'll see that there's a list of different language service providers or solution providers or technology providers. There's always in this, and freelance work and language teaching jobs. It's always in the language linguistics translation tool industry, pretty much. So that creates this bubble effect, which makes it that people won't benefit from other ideas and things of how to do things. There's little movement inside and in and out of the industry, and and several people have come to me in the past and said when they looked at my resume, said, "Wow," or they looked at me, I said, "You have been in both sides, actually in different industries too, and doing other things." And yes, I've been through the several world economic crises situations. There have been several. There's the dot-com crash, and then 9/11, and then the 2008 economic downturn. All of them kind of caused me to have to leave the industry, so three times, and to go have other full-time jobs. And so that each time when I came back to the language industry, I brought in some other experience from something else, from the big data, telecom, network optimization software, or working in business analytics software, or working in financial enterprise performance management software companies. And those helped me to look at the whole MT thing that I was already in and out, and to look at it differently, and to come up with ideas and approaches that are just different. And have better even some productivity results that just people say, how do you do this? And just because I'm not using those that are standard MT or standard translation memory or standard CAT implementations, I do something completely different because I'm borrowing from other ideas, other industries I've done it at, or done things there, and then kind of reuse the ideas differently, adapt them, and adopt them. So this lack of cross industry experience can actually be found in a lot of different roles. If you think about it, you see it a lot in the MT development teams, okay, and and especially in the commercial MT development teams, companies that they're trying to resolve a communications problem and not a translation problem. They're trying to do the Star Trek Universal Translator. They're trying to resolve a communication issue between languages for content gisting and understanding, rather than try to resolve a true translation focused problem of translating for publication purposes, which what translators do, okay, and interpreters, but translators mainly. And then you find the MT development teams will have this lack of cross-industry experience in general. I'm not saying it's everyone, but there's a lot of it's kind of jump. Project management roles, same thing. Project managers, they always just have been from jumping from company to company for every reasons, but it's always in the language industry. Sales and business development, same thing. Sales and business development roles, always been in the industry and not come from elsewhere. And then even translator roles, where there's an ongoing debate of whether or not a degree in translation is necessary versus or not, versus is it more valuable to have domain specific expertise and knowledge. And there's a big debate on this all the time. So it's always all these people just thinking you got to have the translation experience, and not considering other industries, which is really important to think about. So because people have been in this whole industry for the whole time, they think in the mindset of the mentality and the paradigm of how this industry has been functioning for the past 20, 30, 40 years with the tools. And so that experience has created an effect that doesn't that that it just we'll see here as I'm talking, because I think this is really important to put into kind of the mindset and why we're in post editing we're struggling. Another the kind of thing is the narrow-mindedness of the kind of the language industry companies, service solutions, where there's kind of this narrow-minded about hiring salespeople. And I've seen examples of this where I was trying to help a friend, colleague get a job who had a lot of experience in other industries, but couldn't get into this market and was really successful in sales in other fields, but couldn't get in because, oh no, the person's got to have language service industry sales. Um, that's crazy. That's just totally crazy. Um, such companies need to stop thinking and hiring people. Stop just hiring people only with language industry experience, because language industry people that have been locked into the mindset of this whole mindset of low price, low value pricing for 20 or 30 years in this bubble, and they've been grown up with this, and that you got to do this way. They're not going to sell the services, not going to upsell stuff, and they're not going to know how to sell it because it's, well, the customer won't accept it. That's BS. I'm sorry, it's BS. You need This industry needs to hire salespeople from other industries that can sell real enterprise solutions and service projects. Period, because they will sell the big projects to customers. They will create the value. You just gotta have salespeople know how to do this. So that's kind of the I think that's a crux, and people don't address this, and I'm addressing today because I've seen it. I've been in and out of this language industry several times, and I've worked in other industry too, and I sold things and I was and seen how it's sold, and it's always sold with big projects. That's just how you do it, the whole shebang. And we just in this industry would people are not good at doing that. Okay, that's pretty. So we need to hire people that can do that. Not language service people, that people have been always in the industry.